Hello, my name is Kim Sauer here in Nuremberg at SMT Nuremberg. I'd like to welcome Dr. Josef Sedlmair to our booth here. Dr. Sedlmair, thank you for taking the time to talk to us. Now, you work for a company called F&K Delvotec. What exactly do you do?
Our company makes wire bonders and test equipment. Wire bonders are machines that connect semiconductors to the outside world by welding a wire between the semiconductor and the packaging. That can be an extremely thin wire, as it's used for logic circuits or sensors, where we only have to pass maybe milliamps or microamps, all the way up to very heavy wires, up to 0.5 millimeter cross-section or even more, for high power circuits, as are used in any kind of power control, but also in photovoltaics and nowadays more and more in electromobility, e-vehicles, cars like that.
Very interesting markets and quite strong markets here in Germany. Is your company based in Germany?
Yes. As a matter of fact, we are a group of companies. The headquarters and the main company are situated in Munich, or just outside Munich. We also have a branch, or a sister company I should say, in Austria, which concentrates on test equipment and semi-automatic or desktop equipment, as we would say, for pre-series, pilot production, repair and R&D. Automatic equipment is designed and built in Munich.
Okay. Now we're at a German show and you've got a stand here where you're presenting a number of products. What is new and what are your customers seeing this year?
What's new? We have a number of, let's say, generational updates, both on the automatic side. We have what we call a G6 Generation 6 wire bonder system, and on the desktop side we have a Series 58 universal bonder base with exchangeable bond heads. Both of them are higher productivity, somewhat higher quality, and just newer generation. We also have something that we would consider a game changer, which is the first prototype of a laser bonder developed by us with the Fraunhofer Institute of Laser Technology in Aachen in the framework of a German joint research project. And that's a very interesting machine because it does not use ultrasonic to form the welding as we do in standard ultrasonic wire bonding, but it uses a laser. Instead of that, that allows us to use much larger cross sections, as we say, or much heavier wires without damaging the semiconductor and so on. So that gives us higher productivity.
Okay.
And we're introducing this as a first prototype at the show. We have enormous interest in that right now because that will really be a different technology.
Talking about the sort of feedback you've been getting, I mean, you said that there's lots of interest in that innovation. What has been the sort of feedback from the people that you've been talking to at the show, and what's your take on the market in general?
Feedback overall has been very, very good. We're quite pleased with that. Obviously, a show like this is as much about talking to new prospective customers as it is about getting feedback from existing customers. There's a little bit of a family meeting all the time. From that point of view, it's extremely good for us every year. And as the market would go, we would say it's a little different from country to country, but overall, we're still very much in a growth phase. Now, I have to say for that, of course, that we're not really in the mainstream electronics or semiconductor market. We do serve a number of niches. So if one niche blows up, that for us, of course, is a major market change, whereas another niche, let's say photovoltaics, may be imploding, which would not really mean so much to us if we are not quite involved in that market. But overall, the markets for us have been very, very pleasant this year.
Okay.
We expect to grow quite considerably this year.
Positive outlook. And you also mentioned earlier a very strong partnership with the Fraunhofer Institute.
Yes.
And I believe you're partaking in a joint project and a part of their live production line here. Tell us a little bit about that.
This is true. The Fraunhofer Institute IZM in Berlin, which is an institute for microelectronics, especially with regard to reliability and integration. This institute runs a joint production line where we do live production here at the show with a line consisting of, I believe, now 17 different machines, which is kind of interesting because it's not what we could consider a dummy run. with machines running dry, but we actually put in an empty circuit board at the input side, and about 20 minutes later on the output side, this board comes out completely running with live parts, soldered and everything, which is really impressive considering that this whole line is made up from I think by 17 different companies which don't necessarily work together every day. And in addition, it takes all of 2 days to set up this line. Most factories would be inexorably grateful to have a line that's set up in such a short time and it's actually working. So that's a very, very impressive thing to show.
Excellent. So I'm sure it's a successful project also in terms of the research side of it and the partnership going forward in your own product development.
Very much so.
So you mentioned a couple of the industries that you're active in, and we've talked about the market in general. Just, I know it's difficult looking into the future, but what sort of trends do you predict or do you foresee that we'll all be talking about in the future?
The trends we see, of course, are very much shaped by the outlook from the niches that we serve. So we would not be in a good position to talk too much about the general semiconductor business. However, some of the trends we see are very strongly shaped by the automotive industry, automotive electronics, which is a field growing in quantity all the time, but which is definitely pushing the market in the sense that they have large volumes, very high technology, and extreme requirements in terms of quality. And that, of course, helps everybody. Another trend that we do see at the moment concerns the move to e-mobility. E-vehicles is a very strong trend. We'll see where that ends, but at the moment we are quite optimistic about the point where we are at the learning curve. I think that's moving up pretty quickly right now. And there's also right now the keyword Industry 4.0.
Yes, big buzzword in the industry at the
absolutely
moment. Yes.
A buzzword. Now, for us it's a bit amusing because it really is the intelligent production and machines talking to each other and so on. We've had elements of that for quite a long time included in the machines, and it's quite a slow process of catching on, but also we get the feeling that right around now there is more momentum and more people are trying to do something in the area, to get involved in this whole setup. And that for us looks like a trend that's definitely worth following and that will definitely have a big payoff.
Driver for change.
Absolutely.
Which I think the industry needs a little bit as well. Everybody coming together with a concept, a hype, or whatever you might call it, but everybody's clued up on it, wants to talk about it. So I look forward to discussing it maybe on a one-to-one session just about Industry 4.1 in the future, and see exactly what your take is and discuss it further. So Dr. Sedlmair, thank you once again for taking the time, and I wish you lots of success for the rest of the show here.
Thanks very much. It was a pleasure talking to you.